Should you buy a Tesla right now, or should you wait? It seems like Teslas have never been more popular or harder to buy than they are right now in 2021. And if you're looking to buy a Tesla right now, there is a whole lot to consider and things that might just be a little complicated to try to figure out. Should you go Model 3 or Model Y? Should you buy full self-driving or subscribe or not get it at all? And do you really need long range or a standard range just good enough? And should you save the money? There's a whole lot to consider here. So in this video, let me break it all down for 2021 and tell you the 8 things you need to know before you buy your Tesla, things I wish I knew before I bought my Tesla to make things as seamless and simple as possible. You just need to know all this before you take delivery. Right off the bat, one of the biggest questions that many have these days is to go Model 3 or Model Y. Now, I made a full video I will link to up here and down below that kind of goes through sort of a point-by-point comparison between a Model 3 and Model Y sitting in my driveway. But to keep things simple, here's kind of the highlights. If you want a larger car, one that's a little bit bigger, that sits off the ground a little higher and has a little bit more space, then the Model Y is going to be the way to go. If you want a car that has more range and also has cheaper options, then you're going to want to go Model 3. There's really no bad decision here. Both are really good, though some I know prefer one over the other. But if you want a little bit more space and want a little bit of a bigger car, go Model Y. If you want more range or a cheaper price, then Model 3 is going to be the way to go. Next up, of course, we've got to consider battery size and, of course, in turn range. And typically the rule of thumb that I've seen sort of thrown around the EV community is you want to buy as much battery as you can afford. And on the Model Y front, there's really one battery size, but really 2 options. There's long range or performance. If you want the most range, go long range. If you want to sacrifice a little bit of that range for some speed, then go with the performance route. You will be happy, and I'm sure you will love that Model Y. On the Model 3 front, though, it's a little bit more complicated because you do have performance and you have long range, but there is another smaller battery in the Model 3 Standard Range Plus, which is about $9,000 cheaper and gives you about 262 miles of range. And one of the big questions that many have always asked is that enough? Is 262 miles of range is enough? If you charge it to 80% at about what, 240, 230, is that enough range as well? Many are worried that the battery life of the Standard Range Plus is just not good enough. I will say, as a Standard Range Plus owner myself, after owning the car for almost 3 years now, I really love the car. My 100% charge these days, it was 240 when I picked up the car. Now it's like 217, 218, and it has been more than adequate. I charge at home, and during the day, whether I'm driving to work, driving to run errands, going to see my parents a couple hours away, the Standard Range Plus battery size has been fantastic, and I have not run into any range, though again, your mileage will vary literally here, and if you plan on doing a lot of long road trips, or you don't have a really great charging solution at home or at work, which I'll get into in a little bit more, then you're going to want to go with more range. Again, you want to go with as much range as you can afford, though if you're not a heavy driver, it might not be a bad idea to save the money and go with the Standard Range Plus. Obviously, there are some differences between the partial premium interior of the Standard Range Plus versus the full premium interior of the long range. I'll leave a link to a video down here and up here. Does that make sense? Down here, up here, that goes over the differences between those two models. But long story short, if you go with the long range for the extra money, you're going to get a better sound system, more of the creature comforts of the interior, a full year of data, connectivity, and basically just have a little bit more range. Though the Standard Range Plus is by far not a bad option at all. The other thing to consider is if you should buy full self-driving or subscribe to it or not even bother with it. This is also a very complicated question these days as the full self-driving in city streets starts to slowly roll out. Hopefully we see it soon. But as of right now, for full self-driving, you have auto lane change, you have navigate on autopilot, you have smart summon, you have auto park, and that's basically the extent of those features. And whether that is compelling enough for you is a decision you have to make. Personally, I don't see the value as of right now in spending $10,000. I think that if you want full self-driving, you're better off to subscribe to it on a per month basis and basically pay for it when you want to use it, like on road trips, and not pay for it when you're not going to use it. But you can make that decision for yourself. But it's obviously a very important decision you need to make before you decide to get that car. Obviously, if you're going to lease a Tesla, I don't recommend buying it at all. It's financially just cheaper to subscribe to full self-driving than to buy it. But just keep that in mind as you decide to order. You should consider full self-driving and whether or not those features are worth it for you as of right now. I don't think so, but you have the option to buy or subscribe, and you can make that decision for yourself. Another big thing to think about right now is the wait times of some of these models, because the long-range Model Y and the Standard Range Plus Model 3 are backed up months and months and months. And if you are looking to get into the EV market, maybe you're sort of on the fence and you're sort of thinking you're going to do it in the spring, it might not be a bad idea to place an order right now, because the wait times are, again, out a few months into the spring, like March, April, and even getting close to May. Now, some models aren't facing shortages like this, like you can get a performance Model Y in about a couple of weeks, so that's not too bad, and other models as well. But just keep in mind, you might have to wait a bit depending on the model you want to get. For example, I'm considering picking up a Model Y in May of 2022, and if things keep going like they are, they keep getting pushed back and pushed back, I might just have to place an order before the end of the year in hopes of getting my car in time by the end of May. Now, obviously, things will change, and just because you place an order and it says May or June or whatever it is, doesn't mean it's going to take that long all the time. Things will change, but just keep in mind that there's a bit of a wait on certain models. Of course, one of the tips around this is to keep checking Tesla's existing inventory. These are the cars that are ready to be sold, and if you find your config right there with the right color and the right options that you want, you can buy it there. You can be assigned to that car, and you can take delivery much sooner. But if you're looking to sort of get a custom configuration that is not available in existing inventory, put an order in now, because you're probably going to have to wait just a bit. Another one of the biggest things you have to consider before you buy your Tesla is how you're going to charge it. And there are a couple of ways to charge your car. There is having no home charger, which is something I did for many years, and it's doable. Trust me, it's a little bit inconvenient, but it is doable not to have a home charger as long as you can charge somewhere else. There is obviously charging at home if you can do that with a regular 120 volt outlet or with a NEMA 1450, a higher voltage outlet. Charging at home is definitely the way to go. Or there's charging at work, charging at places you frequent like a gym or a shopping mall, movie theater, or there's also the Tesla supercharging network as well. Like I said, home charging is definitely the way to go if you can do it. In a perfect world, every garage would have a NEMA 1450, so you could just plug right in and easily charge in a few hours. You can trickle charge off of a regular 120 volt outlet. It's not ideal, but it does work. It's certainly better than nothing, and many people do it. And also, many people don't have a home charger as well. I lived in an apartment complex for many years and did not have access to a home charger. And like I said, it was inconvenient, but it was certainly not undoable. My excitement and joy and love for the Tesla outweighed the slight inconveniences, and it was not that bad. I would frequently charge at work, or I'd go supercharge. It was not a huge deal. You just have to sort of keep in mind that you want to have chargers available to you, around you at least, and you kind of know where you can go to charge, and often how often you're also going to go to charge as well, so you kind of can plan that accordingly and make sure you don't run out of range. Of course, Tesla supercharging is also an option as well, though the more you supercharge, the more damage you could potentially do to your battery. Supercharging is meant to be a quick fill up on a road trip, not a sort of a permanent or semi-permanent way to charge the car all the time. People do it. I did it for a few months. Not saying I advise it, but it definitely is an option. Just I would definitely recommend just getting an idea of the chargers around you, understand your charging situation, understand how much it would cost to try to charge at home or put a charger in your garage, and if not, see what options are available to you near work, near a gym, near places you frequent, and if all else fails, just see what public chargers are available to you and how much they'll cost so you can plan accordingly. Obviously, again, charging at home is the way to go, but don't let not having a home charger deter you, because it's definitely possible to live without a home charger. It's just going to be a little bit more work. Something else to keep in mind that a lot of people don't think about is software updates. The cars get updates all the time. These are obviously like computers on wheels. And a lot of times people are frustrated because a massive software update comes out and they can't update because the Wi-Fi where they park their car isn't very good. If you do park your car at a garage at your house, you want to make sure Wi-Fi in the garage is really good. It also has to be particularly good because the Wi-Fi antenna in the Teslas is not specifically very good. So you want to have a really strong Wi-Fi network set up. I will leave a link to a couple of good mesh systems down below. Mesh is certainly the way to go. It's just much easier. It's a really great way to extend the signal and make sure that your car will always have a good Wi-Fi connection, especially for those important updates. And if you don't have Wi-Fi access in a parking garage or where you park your car, you can also download updates from your phone as well. If you have like a personal hotspot or you want to, any hotspot from a hotspot device or your phone, you can also download updates that way as well. Another tip here is to keep tabs on your add-ons like premium connectivity connectivity and your full self-driving subscription if you go that route. Premium connectivity is the car's data plan, and if you go with a long range of performance, you get that for 1 year, and after 1 year, you're going to have to pay $9.99 a month if you want to keep it. If you get a standard range plus car, you get it for 1 month free, then you kind of have to start paying for it. It has been worth it for me. I enjoy being able to stream music and have satellite maps and stuff like that. Some people don't mind. You can usually use your phone in hotspot mode to jump around a lot of those boundaries, though it doesn't always work all the time. Just keep in mind that those recurring charges do exist, and just sort of mark a calendar reminder for when your premium connectivity trial ends. You can obviously not have it lapse and be out of data on your car. And also same thing for full self-driving subscription. It's going to renew every month. So if you want to try it for 1 month, enjoy it, and then make sure you cancel so you're not stuck with another $200 bill next month because you forgot to cancel that auto-renewing subscription. Another really important tip that many talk about these days especially is being prepared for delivery day. You want to make sure that you observe your car and examine your car so you make sure that your car is in tip-top shape and there are no big issues. I know the excitement of taking delivery is always fun. It's overwhelming. There's a lot going on. But you want to make sure there aren't any issues on your car that you have to go back and get fixed later, or if there is issue, you can make sure that you get that service appointment set up and you can get the issue fixed and corrected as soon as possible so there aren't any conflicts or any he said, she said on things. You just want to make sure you are mindful of the condition of your car. There have been a number of really great checklists created by the Tesla community. So if you kind of want to go through sort of point by point and look at panel gaps and look at the finish on certain things, you can download a couple of those. I'll leave a link down below. But just be mindful of it. Enjoy the experience, obviously. Enjoy the new car. But just be thorough in your examination of it. Make sure there aren't any issues. Make sure there's no dents. Make sure there's no issues with the tire or bumper. Just make sure everything is good to go, because once you take delivery of it and you sign the paperwork and drive off the lot, it's a little bit harder to get issues fixed, though it can be done. And of course, last but certainly not least, you want to enjoy the car. Something you need to know before you take delivery is that you're going to love the car, you're going to enjoy driving it, and you want to make sure you have all your ducks in a row and all this stuff figured out so you can just drive the car, enjoy it, and just enjoy your brand new Tesla. And also get plugged into the EV community, whether that's on a subreddit, whether it's on the Tesla Motor Club forums, or if it's on YouTube like this one here. I love to provide a lot of value to Tesla owners or potential Tesla owners, and I'd love for you guys to get involved with me as well. So if you guys want to subscribe, if you haven't already, hit the link down below to subscribe, or to the button down below to subscribe to the channel. Also, give this video a thumbs up because that would help me out. And we can all just sort of share in our love for Tesla, share with our enthusiasm with EVs, and just enjoy our Teslas together and just enjoy the wonderful Tesla community and just to have a blast enjoying our cars. Anyways, I think that about does it. What do you guys think about this? What are your thoughts? Do you have any tips, tricks, some useful information you would like to pass along to potential owners before they buy? Anything you wish you knew before you bought your Tesla? Let us know down below. We can all talk about it together. We can discuss it and give our insight to everybody to make the EV community even better and to help new Tesla owners learn from our past mistakes as current Tesla owners. As always, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I'm Robert Rosenfeld, and I will see you all in the next one.